Hi everybody, it's Layla again. Today I'm here to talk to you about overcoming fear. Ooh, scary. So fear is something that we all face, some of us more than others, some of us more often than others. I'm going to be the first to admit I face fear on a daily basis. Being an entrepreneur, being a mother, being a wife, being a human being living in this world, there are so many different things that can just cause me to feel fear every single day. And it's a constant practice of having to sort of overcome that fear so that I can move forward. A lot of you out there are probably people who have really big goals that you want to achieve. You have a vision of a life that you want to lead. And fear, I'm sure, is something that can get in your way. So I'm here today to talk to you about how you can overcome your fear, how you can move past your fear so that you can actually just get on with creating your amazing life. Okay? So when the fear happens, and it can happen for many different reasons, the first thing that I want you to do is to actually identify what is the trigger. What is actually causing me to feel fear? One of my favorite movies is Breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't know if any of you out there have seen it. And in it, Audrey Hepburn talks about the scary reds, the fear that comes and you don't know where it's come from, and you're not sure, you're not feeling the blues, but it's just reds. You kind of feel overwhelmed with everything that's happening around you. So the first thing that you want to do when you feel that kind of fear is to identify what's the trigger, what's causing me to suddenly, be going along with my life, having a happy old day, and then next thing I just feel overwhelmed and scared and tired. So you want to identify the trigger. It might be something someone said. It might be a situation that's happening around you. It might be a thought that's just creeped in and you didn't even realize it's there and it just sort of manifested in your mind. So identify the trigger first, because when you identify the trigger, you can then work from there, work from that place. There's a great book called How to Tame Your Gremlin, and it talks about how to overcome your fear, and it identifies your fear as being kind of a gremlin, a scary little monster. So I want you to think of it in that way, rather than something that is, totally outside of your sort of how you can picture it. Think of it as a little gremlin, okay? So you got your little gremlin there, and he's whispering all these little words in your ear about, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not perfect enough, whatever it is. So think of him there, and he's sitting there next to you. Now, what I want you to remember is those things that he or she, whatever your gremlin is, those things that they're saying to you, those are your thoughts. Those are the things that you are repeating to yourself over and over again as you are experiencing this fear. And the thing with thoughts is, thoughts are very creative, in that thoughts can create your actual reality, your actual experiences. So if you are having negative fear-based thoughts, your experiences and your reality is going to be negative, it's going to be fear-based. If you're experiencing positive, optimistic, empowering thoughts, that's also going to translate to your reality. Thoughts create our emotions, okay? So when I think to myself, Layla, you're a bad person, I then start to feel bad in my body. My body gets these physical sensations of feeling fear. I feel kind of hunched up. I don't feel like, strong and standing tall. I start to kind of hunch up. My heart might start racing. I might start getting sweaty palms. So my thoughts creating my emotions, which are actually creating my physical sensations. From that, it's only logical that any actions I take or any decisions I make are going to be from that basis. They're going to be negative. They're going to be fear-based. I'm going to do things which are not going to serve me. So if I'm in a situation where I'm feeling fear and I need to be empowered, I need to move forward and take strong action, the first thing I want to do is to actually change my thoughts. Okay? So you want to replace your negative thoughts with positive thoughts. I'm not talking about ignoring what's happening around you. I'm not talking about saying, yes, everything is fine, there's no problems, when there's problems all around you. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is being realistic. You want to see whatever issue it is that you're challenged with, you want to see it as it is, not worse than it is. which is what most of us tend to do, right? When we're faced with a bad situation, we take that situation and from that we extrapolate and we start making all these ideas and these thoughts about, oh, because this is happening to me, that means that I'm this type of person. It means I'm not good enough in doing that, because if I was, I wouldn't be faced with this situation. So we don't want to go there. We want to see the situation for what it really is, and then we want to see it better than it is, which means we actually want to put ourselves in a place where we say to ourselves, yes, I am facing this situation, but because I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm resourceful, I can actually cope with this situation. So you begin to actually change the physiology of your body as you begin to do that. Rather than being stuck in, I'm so bad, everything around me so negative, you then can sort of give yourself a bit of relief and say, yes, this is happening to me, but I'm a strong person, I'm a resourceful person, I have things around me which I can use to help me to overcome this situation. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning. We want to identify the trigger. We want to be sure that we're watching our thoughts, because thoughts are creative. We want to see the situation as it is, and not worse than it is, but actually better than it is. And we want to then actually start using those positive thoughts. Okay, so when we have that, we then want to think, what can I do now? What's the next step? Because fear is a very paralyzing place to be in. So how's the fastest place to get out of fear? Is to actually take action, is to actually use the energy to move forward. So we need a plan. We need to start thinking, okay, I've got this situation, but what can I do next? And then I want you to brainstorm all of the different things that you can do to move forward, to move past the situation that you're in. Once you've got your plan, you're then on your way to start moving forward. But you still want to think about, what is the worst that can happen? Because you might have your plan and start moving forward with it, and then out of nowhere, life just throws you a curveball, another curveball, and the worst thing does happen. So I actually want you to go there, to actually think about in your mind, what is the worst that can happen? Using that, I then want you to think of, okay, the worst has happened. What am I going to do when the worst does happen? So you have a strategy in your mind, okay, of when the worst does happen, this is what action I'm going to take. These are the thoughts that are going to be in my mind. I'm not going to go down again and start spiraling into negative emotions. I'm going to remember that I'm still a strong person. I'm still a resourceful person. I can still get past this, okay? Because remember, guys, the situations that happen to us in life, they're not always of our choosing. Often life will just throw us these situations, these challenges, these curveballs, and they're not of our choosing. But what is always in our choosing is what we're going to do when we're in that situation. Okay? What actions are we going to take? What thoughts are we going to think? What are we going to choose to believe about what is happening around us? That is what's actually going to make your experience positive or negative. Okay, so you got your plan. You've seen it as worse than it is. You have a plan of what you're going to do if the worst has happened, and now you're going to take your plan and actually move forward with it. Take action as quickly as possible. The moment you feel the fear come up, don't succumb to it. Don't wallow in it, because the more you wallow in it, the more you become more entrenched in it and the more comfortable it feels to be there, because it's always easier to be the victim rather than someone who's taking responsibility for your life. So the minute you feel it come up, do all the things that I've told you. Identify the trigger, see it as it is, watch your thoughts, begin to plan, have a plan for what to do if the worst does happen, and begin to take as much action as you can to move yourself out of this place. I hope that was really helpful for you. I'd love for you to share your comments and your thoughts on what you do when fear comes up for you. In the meantime, make sure to check out our website, www.womenincaqatar.com. You can subscribe for our newsletter there, and if you're interested in any of our life coaching or health coaching services or our workshops or courses, please just contact us anytime. We'll get back to you straight away. Thanks and take care.